A win is a win is a win is a win in this league. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't sexy. But the Lions pick up a win when they needed to. They dominate the fourth quarter. Ugly first three quarters. And now they're in a position to where if they win this game on Thursday, all is forgiven for what happened yesterday. I told our audience, and I told you on Friday, I don't care how they win this game against the Giants. I took the 10.5 in the spread picks, but I told you guys, hey, if this is an ugly win, if they win on a last-second field goal, I won't be mad at this team. Because here's what we could do. We could sit here and talk about how, hey, Giants going for 6.8 yards per play, worst of the season. What the hell happened to this defense? All of a sudden, they can't stop the run. Jameis Winston tears us apart. We could do that and hit the panic button for 3 hours, but that would be pointless with the Packers on the clock for this Thursday game. And I don't want to start doing preview radio yet. I don't want to just completely ignore everything that happened in yesterday's game, but how much stock are you putting into the Lions making things a lot closer than it needed to be yesterday? Because I think this is a classic case of you looked ahead on the schedule. Even in Dan Campbell's post-game speech, they're already talking about we don't have time. We got to get ready for Green Bay. We've got 3 days. I think this is a classic example of you overlooked your opponent. It's very uncharacteristic of Dan Campbell. The offense looks awesome, so there's not. I mean, they had their handful of 3-and-outs. Let's not make it sound like the offense was perfect, but I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is like a blur. That guy's looking like one of the rare players that you can say in the first few years, they're like, well, if he keeps this up, he's probably going to the Hall of Fame. We'll jump into the Gibbs stuff. We'll jump into some of Dan Campbell's decision-making, but your headline for the game would be go.
Ooh, Giants blow another lead in the fourth quarter? I mean, that would be the first thing I think of. Obviously, flipping it on the side of the Lions, though, like, I actually feel surprisingly good. It was nice that the Lions achieved a come-from-behind win, right? I mean, that's something that this had been
it's a good way to look at it.
Staple of this team for a long time. And obviously, against the Giants, maybe that's not the team you want to do it against. You'd love for them to just handle them like we talked about, had them in spread picks to win by multiple scores. But as you mentioned last week, like, what really matters is the game on Thursday. So all you got to do is get by New York. They obviously shocked you a little bit, played a lot better than they expected to. We'd been concerned with the offense for Detroit. It was a defense that was for sure more concerning this time around. The Giants were just making unbelievable plays. I mean, Jameis Winston was just throwing it up to these receivers one-on-one, and they were making these guys you never heard of. Isaiah Hodgins making crazy plays. Theo Johnson, like all these random guys just making crazy catches. Obviously, Gunnar Olszewski has the pass to Jameis Winston for a touchdown. Like, what is going on in this game? It was a weird one for sure, but personally for me, I thought it was nice that the Lions achieved a come-from-behind win because we hadn't seen that in quite some time, and that was a major characteristic of the Lions the last several years under Dan Campbell. So I felt good that they were actually able to do that. If they weren't able to do that and it fell short and Jake Bates doesn't hit the 59-yard field goal.
Oh, Master Bates.
Right. Then we're feeling very differently, for sure. And I still think I can't sit here and be like, oh, there's no red flags, there's no concerns because it's all on to Green Bay. I think it is all on to Green Bay, but we can still look at this game and be like, man, what is going on with this team? I still think that's fair.
But here's the thing. And again, I don't want to just start previewing the Green Bay game because there's a lot to unpack from yesterday. But if they win the game against Green Bay, this game against the Giants is only going to be viewed as a win. Like all the concerns, all the defensive stuff, the offense going 3-and-out so many times, all that stuff gets completely forgotten about if they win this game on Thursday. And if they lose the game on Thursday, okay, maybe those were early signs that this was coming and this was a fraudulent team. I don't know about you, but most of the group chats, the Lions group chats I was in, that word was being thrown around a lot in the first half.
Absolutely.
Like, what is going
Season's
on? Do
over.
we stink? Yeah, Jameis Winston now leads the NFL in passing yards per game. It was a very frustrating first half, to say the least, because you kept giving up these enormous plays, whether it was the trick plays or the running back just being uncovered. It felt like there was a bunch of defensive mishaps. Even on that trick play, it felt like the Lions completely got taken advantage of because you can see Thomas Harper on the sideline like, Coach, you're the one that tells us to play the run first. Like, we always prioritize stopping the run, so that leaves a wide receiver wide open down the field. There was a good amount to be frustrated at yesterday, but they end up picking up the win. Did you ever, at any point in this game, like truly believe, oh my God, they're going to lose this game. Because for me, that moment happened after Amon-Ra had his second drop of the game, goes right off of his hands, and the Giants intercept it. That was the first time I was like, oh my God, like they're going to lose this game. And I never feel like that during Lions games. I always feel like no matter how they start, they're going to be able to pull it off. I didn't think they were going to lose that Minnesota game until the very, very end. Even the game a couple weeks back where they looked awful throughout the entire course of the game. Who they played 2 weeks ago before the Commander? Or what game am I thinking
The Vikings you're probably thinking of?
Yeah, where they just looked miserable for 2 weeks. Like, I thought they were going to win that game right until the end. Yesterday, I actually had a thought into my head that was like, wow, they're going to lose this game somehow. And it didn't make any sense to me.
I thought they were going to lose the game when they were down by 10. And I, like you said, I'm kind of with you the whole way. Like I've never really felt like, oh, the Lions, they're just totally screwed. But after the Jameis Winston touchdown, where he caught one and scored on it, and they were down by 10, I know there was still plenty of time left. It was early fourth quarter, but I was still just like, this combination of offense and defense coming together at the same time seems impossible right now for the Lions, right? It just feels like it is such a difficult task. And then, obviously, that feeling lasted for what? A minute and a half during the commercial break, because Jahmyr Gibbs that drive took 3 plays and Gibbs has the humongous touchdown. So I felt that they maybe had a slight chance to lose then. And then the other time that I felt like they had a chance to lose was actually on the final drive when Bates had to kick the 59-yard field goal.
Oh my God!
I felt because
how did that sneak its way left to the right, up right?
And even just before he was kicking it, I was like, man, this drive is just. Are we really going to settle for a 60-yarder right now? Like, I love Jake Bates, but, man, this just seems like it feels like we're not being aggressive enough to actually use the clock right and get a better spot for Bates to hit this field goal. And then you said just a wobbly kick. It was a random one. It sneaks its way in, but that was when I felt the worst as well.
Master Bates 5 for 5 on game-winning field goals or game-tying field goals for the Detroit Lions.
I don't want to say it was never a doubt, though.
No, and here's the thing, too. On the drive before where the Giants end up, the drive ends with the Giants going forward on 4th down and the Lions have to go the entire length of the field once they turn them over. How many third downs did they convert on? Or there was a penalty on the 3rd down where like the Lions just kept...
Third and 17
they
from
couldn't
their
get
own
off
10
the field.
Or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it was just... Oh, man, it was brutal.
There was a few moments there, too, where I was like, oh, my God. Like, if the Giants are going to score a touchdown here. And the Lions defense comes through, gets the clutch stop. Again, it was not perfect. Hutchinson, kind of seals the game in overtime. But the game ball, I know Jake Bates hits the game-tying field goal, saves the game. Hutchinson ices the game with the sack after being quiet for the most part. Really the entire defensive front being quiet in both the run and the pass department. But, I mean, what we saw from Jahmyr Gibbs yesterday, 219 yards on the ground. He scores another hat trick. He now has... tied for the second most touchdowns in NFL history before turning 24 years old. He's 23. I'm 23. It makes me it makes me feel like I'm wasting my life away. I don't know.
Caught 11 passes,
career high,
just casually.
We've floated this around a lot. You and I talked about this preseason. Is this a guy who can win Offensive Player of the Year? The fact that we've talked about this offensive line struggling as much as they have this season. And Gibbs is still able to pull up performances like that, where now he holds the second, third, and fourth fastest speeds in the NFL this season. He's got 3 yards of 40-plus runs yesterday. I feel like blessed to be able to watch this guy every Sunday. He's reaching that status to where he's 23 years old, and I'm sitting here like, oh, yeah, this guy, as long as he stays healthy, is going to the Hall of Fame. And that is such a rare territory to be in, and I don't throw that around lightly because I think players do that, fans do that with their teams all the time. Like, I wouldn't even throw Amon-Ra into that. He's put together a hell of a career. I wouldn't put him in Hall of Fame group. I wouldn't put Hutchinson in future Hall of Fame class yet. I would with Penei Sewell, and I'm starting to feel that way about Jahmyr Gibbs as well. 44 touchdowns in his career. He's not even 3 seasons in. He joins a group of 7 guys to ever have 10-plus touchdowns in each of their first 3 seasons. He doesn't turn 24 until March, and he's 3 touchdowns away from breaking Barry Sanders' record all time for most touchdowns before turning 24 years old. I'm not out of words to describe this guy, but every time he gets the ball, he's a walking touchdown, Kyle. That's the best way I can describe it. He gets the ball, and I feel like no matter where you are, what odds are stacked against you, there's a chance he takes it to the house for a touchdown. First play from overtime, that's exactly what he does.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, walking touchdown described perfectly when in OT. You get the ball first and score immediately off that Gibbs touchdown. Like
untouched.
Penei Sewell throws up the touchdown when he was at like the 45-yard line. Like still had one or two guys to beat, and he already thrown up his arms because he knew Gibbs was going to get into the end zone. Like it's truly unreal. As soon as that touchdown happens, obviously you felt really good about this game ending.
I think I texted this to you during the game too. The second touchdown he had where he just like
it was crazy.
He basically stiff-armed the dude. He broke 2 other tackles.
Yeah.
It felt like 3 different times there's no way he's going to get out of this. And he just finds a way, whether it's using his speed or his power. That was kind of on full display yesterday. He shocks guys. It's kind of like in basketball terms when you're going up against Wembanyama or way back in the day like Manute Bol. It's like you don't actually understand how tall these guys are and that they can block your shot until you're on the floor with them. You can watch all the film you want. That's how I feel about Jahmyr Gibbs. It's the same way teams probably feel up against Lamar Jackson. You can scheme for it all you want. Until you're on the field with him, there's just absolutely nothing like it in the NFL. And I think the Giants secondary, the Giants linebackers were caught totally off guard by, hey, we have this guy bottled up, just finish the play. And then before you know it, he's on a dash to the end zone. I feel blessed to watch this guy. That's where I'm at with it. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, I mean, he put the whole team on his back yesterday. Like, that was truly one of those performances where this Lions team, with the amount of weapons that they have offensively and even on defense as well, it's difficult for a single player to win them a game. Jahmyr Gibbs single-handedly won the Lions the game yesterday with a little bit of help of Jake Bates.
Yes, with a little bit of help of Jake Bates. Look, the offense was a little shaky. The defense was, I mean, red flags everywhere. I don't know what's going on with the pass rush, with the run stop too. Like, the defense just wasn't very good yesterday. But, again, all will be forgiven if they just win on Thursday against the Packers. That's where I'm at with this game, right? We can sit here and complain about everything that happened. I'm not willing to forget it, but I'm willing to forgive it if they're able to pull out a win on Thanksgiving. 989-837-6125. What was that?
A must-win game on Thanksgiving, man.
That's where we're at.
How am I supposed to enjoy anything?
With a little Spartans basketball a little later in the day?
Oh, so much stress on what's supposed to be a stress-free day.
When has Thanksgiving ever been stress-free as a Lions fan, though? This is a different type of stress because there's actual expectation, but it's always been a stressful day.
But when is it must-win? Like, even like the couple years ago, the game against Buffalo was like, that was a big game because it was like, okay, can the Lions continue this huge run that they're on?
Yeah.
And obviously, 2 years ago, the Green Bay game, you didn't think the Lions were going to win or lose. They did lose. Last year against Chicago certainly had its stress. I mean, that was the maximum stress game, but it wasn't a must-win. This is like you are right. It always is stressful, Lions games, but this one feels like it's a little bit extra.
I'm willing to put the season on the line. At least how I feel about this 2025 Detroit Lions team on the line. If they can't win this game, there's not a ton of evidence that they can win any of the big games that matter. If they do win this game, okay, they're right back in the mix to winning the division, getting a home playoff game, and if that's the case, whatever, man, anything's possible.
Right.
Are they going to be favored against the Rams? Probably not. They look like world beaters. Are they going to be favored against Philly? Probably not. They already lost to them this season.
But you feel a lot better about it if they beat Green Bay on Thursday.
If you get a home playoff game and win the division, anything can happen. You lose this game out of the division race, really uphill battle to climb to even make the playoffs. You're squeaking in at best with how much San Francisco keeps winning, how much Seattle keeps winning, how much the Bears keep winning. You win this game, you're right back in the mix of things. This is the big test on Thursday.
You're going to have to eat early on Thursday, I think.
Early? Like before 1 o'clock?
I mean, what are you going to you're going to lose your appetite if something happens in this Lions game? Or do you like eat more after the Lions game? I don't know.
How about this?
I'm confused.
I've got faith. I've got faith that they're going to do this.
Okay.
I've been saying this since week 1.
You have. This has been your whole thing.
There's absolutely no way they're getting swept by this Green Bay team. And the fact that Dan Campbell brings it up post-game speech, which, by the way, what was he doing on the ground?
Why did the video start with him crawling off of the floor?
He looked like Aiden Hutchinson in his stance, just like on like 3-point stance, getting ready to get after the quarterback. He stands up, and within 10 seconds, he's talking about Green Bay. That's very uncharacteristic of the post-game speech. That's very uncharacteristic of Dan Campbell to already start bringing that up. They're ready to go. I don't think there's any chance in hell they're losing this game. That's why I'm willing to put the season on the line with this. Are you ready to put your money where your mouth is? Because I am with this team. 989-837-6125. Your biggest take.